I have a picture on my wall right here I'm looking at, and the picture was taken probably just a few months after I opened and started practicing. And as I look at this picture, I think about how I behaved then, what I was thinking then, what I was doing then, how I was approaching my adjusting and my patience then. And one thing that's interesting about that point in time compared to today is this critical topic, and that is, what are you doing in your office in the time you're not seeing patients? What are you doing with that time? There's a lot of time over the course of the chiropractic working day, and only a part of that are you actually face-to-face interacting with patients. So that means there's quite a bit of time where you have no patients around. You're between patients. Now, I would have to say, and I'm sure you'll agree, that if you can show me what a chiropractor is doing in their downtime, I will show you how successful they're going to be. Do you agree with that? If you were to look at an athlete between competitions, say they have a competition in around 3 or 4 months, well, you show me what that athlete is doing up to that point when they're preparing for competition, it'll tell you a lot about how they're going to compete. Same thing with chiropractic, is you have patients coming in. What are you doing before patients come in? What are you doing between patients? What are you doing in the downtime? And we call these busy acts. That's a term that's been handed down in chiropractic for a long time. I'm not sure who coined it, but sometimes they're just called busy acts. What are you doing when you're not actually working on a patient? So let's go through this and understand really, really how important this is. Realize that they're really in the day, there's hours, then there's minutes, then there's what we might call moments. Okay? And what we do with this is unbelievably important. Unbelievably important. Because what we do with this is really a display of our habits and our disciplines. Okay? And it actually shows how much we actually care. All right? So let's go through this. First thing is this. I'll go through a list. If we're between patients, here is what we've got to be doing. Number one, and most importantly, will be, is there any call or any calls that need to be made to patients or otherwise, returned calls that accumulated while you were busy seeing people? So there may be some calls that need to be made, okay? Another thing that's got to be done, of course, is any prep for any incoming patients, prep for any reports, prep for any new patients that may be on the book, prep for any special needs patients that might be coming in, any review, any preparation, review some x-rays, review notes, whatever it is, prep to do a great job with people who are coming in. Next thing is room cleaning, adjusting table cleaned, the x-ray machine and everything prepped and ready to go. Okay, everything ready, we call it just be in a state of readiness for the next patients. Okay, I will actually spray down my table. I'll make sure where the patients see and where their hands go and all that doesn't have dust or people flakes or whatever on it. Room is organized, ready to go, door open, it's ready. So there's a continuous state of readiness. All right? Possibly right here we could send a card or any notes that need to get mailed to patients. All right? During the course of the day, there should be no emailing of patients and certainly no text messaging of patients. They really shouldn't be communicating with you that way at all. Okay? Next thing, any reports that need to get done, get the desk clear. If you have stuff on your desk that isn't done, well, you cannot grow, okay? If you're not getting all the stuff done fast, certainly by the end of the day, no narrative should take more than a day to do. Shouldn't take more than about a half hour to do, okay? Or 10 minutes for that matter. Okay, so reports, anything out that needs to be mailed out to patients, attorneys, insurance companies, or otherwise. All right? Next. Then we can start to work into, after we're all caught up, the room is ready to go, the reports are all done, anything's been mailed out, phone calls to patients, all this stuff, okay, then we can adjust invisible people. That is if you want to grow, okay? If you want to grow, see the people that you want to see, whether they're physically there or not. Unbelievably powerful. This always works, okay? We use the Post-it note technique. We just put a Post-it note on the door jamb, and as we adjust somebody, we just go over and put a little hash mark, and then we adjust somebody again perfectly, another hash mark, and that's how we keep track of how many invisibles we've adjusted. Now, the next thing is this, and this is the biggie, okay? Is reading chiro material. And what I was going to be getting at here as I look at this picture of me right there on the wall is between patients, the only thing I had to do was read chiropractic material. Chiropractic books, chiropractic textbooks, chiropractic history, chiropractic philosophy, chiropractic whatever. That's just what I did. That's all I had. I had a stool just like this and a counter-type desk with a handful of books. I was reading radiology books. I was reading chiropractic books. That was all I did. So I was putting chiropractic into my brain, okay? I was pouring in chiropractic, and guess what happened when patients came in? I talked about chiropractic. I talked about interesting cases. I talked about scoliosis. I talked about unique things on x-rays. I talked about them and their care and their future and how awesome chiropractic was, because I was putting chiropractic into my brain, so that is what came out of me. Then, of course, my practice was able to grow and grow and grow, because people love to go to the chiropractor who is into their work. They're into it. They love it, okay? And I will give you an example here. I'll show you what I mean book-wise. And right now, it has not changed at all. Sitting right here is my main stuff, okay? All right? The Illustrated History of Chiropractic, that's fascinating to look through. Okay, of course, here's the anatomy book. When's the last time you took the anatomy book out and just looked at spinal anatomy? It's unbelievable, okay? Science of Chiropractic, okay? And I've got this great book here. I spent more time in this book, okay? It's an incredibly important book for the chiropractor. Textbook of Clinical Chiropractic, okay? Unbelievable. You just start thumbing through this book and you'll get more new patients with all the different things that you'll be seeing, because you get what you see and you read about and think about. Okay, here's another great book here. This is How to Handle Different Conditions, a book by Gonstead. Here, of course, are the spine research books that I have. Well, here it is right here. Are You the Doctor, Doctor by Barge. Another Barge book. History in the Making, B.J. Palmer. Simple as that, B.J. Palmer. There's the Strauss books. Okay, here's all the Palmer Green books. All right. So notice these are the only thing I have sitting in my adjusting area other than the adjusting table itself. All right. So now, yeah, look at that. I spent a lot of time in this book. All right. In fact, I have it signed by all the authors who wrote the chapters of this book. And look at that. What to do with kids, what to do with weird problems, hot low back cases, crushed vertebra on an MRI, angles for adjusting, all of this stuff. This is just how to become a really, really good and smart chiropractor. Of course, it's showing all the adjustments and the angles and all this kind of stuff. See, in chiropractic today, the trouble is chiropractors don't care about being any good. They just get out of school and want to kind of use what school taught them, all right, and go out there and market and try to get people to come in. Whereas in the past, the chiropractor's only focus was being really, really, really good. Great at adjusting, great at examining the spine, great at explaining it to people, and they all built huge practices. Whereas today, chiropractor tends to struggle because they're not into chiropractic. Okay, they don't love studying chiropractic and the art of it and learning more because people really get lazy. And there's no time for that, okay? There's no time for that. In fact, I was just looking through some of these books again the other day, and I'm always in the anatomy book. I can't even tell you, the anatomy book. See, chiropractic philosophy is simply anatomy. So we pour it in, that's what comes out with our patients, and man, oh man, does it work. Now, one other point I want to make here on this video is this trap. The chiropractor cruises along in practice 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, and they start to think that they really know something. And you know what? All the chiropractor knows is how to have a practice at the level they have it. That's what they know. They know nothing about this. Isn't that interesting? They may know everything about how to have a practice at the level of practice that they have, but they don't know anything about this level of practice that they say they want. So to get to this practice means you're going to have to know more stuff. You're going to have to do stuff better, okay? And we're going to have to shove more chiropractic into the mind so that more chiropractic comes out, and then we can gain the lift to grow. So we never want to start to think we know too much or that we're smart, okay? Oh, I'm seeing some volume, so I must be smart. No. To sustain that, continue to grow, refine, and get great results, we have to realize we always want to be learning, we always want to be knowing more, okay? So that's why we always want to be learning, okay? He who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted, all right? So just be aware of that and that we want to continue to grow. Now, key point here is there's millions of people out there. There's hundreds of people around your office, thousands of people around your community that have yet to experience the awesomeness of chiropractic, so it's no time to be lazy. And what I mean is this. Here are the traps that we must avoid, okay? Over here, here's the super successful chiropractor, and here's the chiropractor that say WTG, wants to grow. In the downtime, this chiropractor here gets the narrative done. This one over here checks their text messages. This chiropractor over here makes sure that their room is ready to go. This chiropractor over here watches a YouTube video. This chiropractor over here makes sure their CAs are directed on a marketing project. This chiropractor over here, okay, sends a couple more text messages to a couple friends about irrelevant nothingness, okay? This chiropractor over here has a book on their desk and reads a page or two of chiropractic awesomeness. This person over here got their motor trend in the mail and they're sitting back, kicking back, looking at a magazine for a couple minutes, okay? This chiropractor here would never open up a magazine in their office ever, 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 even on a Saturday if they're there by themselves, okay? This chiropractor over here, all right, has got their desk clear. They sent out a couple thank yous, all right? They've got their mind focused on the upcoming patients, okay? This chiropractor over here hasn't done that stuff, all right? I just want you to see the differences. Now, moment by moment, it doesn't look like there's that much difference, but at the end of the day, there's a massive difference in the productivity because the moments add up to be a massive difference in the productivity of the chiropractors. This is what we call being studious, okay? In fact, sometimes this is what we call being lazy and being weak because you have to be studious and strong and disciplined to do what you are supposed to do when you are supposed to do it versus doing what you're not supposed to be doing when you're not supposed to be doing it, okay? And this is the trap. And our society is trying to push everybody into this trap, okay? All right? Too much time on the computer, too much time dinking around with their phone, okay? And it just destroys productivity when they could be getting stuff done, sending their mail out, okay, preparing for upcoming patients, making calls to any special needs patients, calling any attorneys that need to be called, reviewing chiropractic material, preparing for upcoming stuff, adjusting invisibles. See what I'm saying? Here's massive success, and here's the person who says, I need more new ones. Okay? All right, this person here, we never talk about getting more new ones. They have a lot of new ones because, of course they do, all right? So the busy acts, what are you doing when you're not seeing patients? The discipline to be doing what you're supposed to be doing when you're supposed to be doing it during the course of the day. There's plenty of time for this other stuff, okay? It just doesn't happen, okay, between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., all right? Okay? Yeah, at lunch it can happen, in the morning it can happen, after work, fine. But focus on your work when you are working, okay? And I promise you it'll make an astronomical difference. What you're doing in the downtime, your busy acts, your productivity, I will promise you will make a huge difference, and it'll make a difference every day, every week, and every month for your entire practicing life.